It's not. I don't think it's realistic to make a living doing comedy anywhere. It's the most unrealistic thing I can think of.
You know, you have to have a very broad toolkit. You can't just do stand-up. It has never been harder to make even a small income out of stand-up comedy. In Vancouver, we've had a mass exodus of comedians leave for Toronto. Even Alberta, we've had a few comics leave for Alberta, which is unheard of. Who would go to Alberta after living in BC? But there's all the oil and gas money, there's a lot of shows in Alberta.
If you want to make a living as a Vancouver comic, meaning you won't be in Vancouver most of the time.
So this city is divided into two very different groups of people. People that can afford to live there, and the rest of us that are desperately hanging on. So we have two main grocery stores. We've got Whole Foods and No Frills. Such a different mentality. You walk into Whole Foods, it's beautiful. You're like, excuse me, do you have apples? And they're like, yes, we do. This one was grown by a girl named Emily. It comes with a sweater. Would you like it? Do you want to take her home? Then you go to No Frills and you're like, do you have apples? And they're like, yeah, we found this in the dumpster outside Whole Foods. It's almost free.
Yeah, man, it's a tough way. I wouldn't advise it to anybody. Like, I would never say to anybody to try it. And I didn't have anybody in my family or circle of friends that was in entertainment to say like learn a trade or something. Because, you know, probably if somebody had said that to me early, I probably would have. I probably would have learned how to be a carpenter or something, you know? So there was nobody around telling me like, ooh, this is, this is a hard way to make a living.
If you want to hustle, you could get up 2-3 times a night. That's my critique of some of the comics. A lot of the comics here aren't hungry. In this city, you could actually make a living. If you put yourself in that echelon of guys that is worth paying to see from a Monday all the way through Saturday, you can make a living. LA is tougher. There's so many rooms. You're seeing Louis C.K. might pop into a room and do 10 minutes. So why would they pay to see you? You know what I mean? So here, you actually could make a couple bucks.
How are you doing?
You know, I got a velvet jacket. I mean, it's from H&M, but I'm all right. I ain't missed too many meals.
It's, you know, like across the entire country, there's probably, I don't know, 5 guys who are doing really well, you know, and then there's probably 10 guys who are doing pretty well, and then there's everybody else, you know. I don't know anybody who's set, you know. Like, I think there's maybe 2 or 3 guys in the entire country that you could say, like, they're established and they make a lot of money and they're doing well and they're kind of set. Everybody else is just doing everything that comes out of the air, doing this corporate job, doing this acting gig, doing this writing gig, whatever comes along.
Also on the bus, the ads, you're advertised to. You get 0 out of it. It's not like a movie trailer or like a TV show. It's just you're on the bus and here are some ads for your dumb face. And the type of ads that you receive are distinctly different depending on where you are in relation to the bus. If you're outside of the bus, all the ads are like, congratulations, you did it. Go on a vacation, you clearly deserve it. Why not this nice new restaurant or buy another car? But if you're inside the bus, all the ads are like, ooh, it's not too late to go back to school. Are you pregnant and scared?
If somebody wants to come in and think they're going to make a living, it's very difficult to make a living. Like one thing that I used to do is like, I was only doing comedy and, you know, trying to make a living in the same way that most comics are, meant that I would do a week here and then be gone for 7-8 weeks straight. So I was living in Vancouver, but not here more than half of the year. I would be in another city. So it's not like you're gonna have a day job, like I'm gonna make a living as a comedian in Vancouver. It's impossible.
Like now that we've officially been named the most expensive city in North America to live in, God bless you for leaving the house. Like it's, in a way it's freeing because I know I will never afford property in this province. I just won't ever. I spent the down payment money. It's gone. It was only $700, so do not panic. And I did the responsible thing first. I went to Scotiabank to find out if I was richer than I think. I am not. In fact, I'm in a lot of trouble. They were like, you have nothing saved for retirement. What are you gonna do? And I was like, I don't know. My plan right now is to die. I think I'm gonna hit 60 and I'm just gonna tap out. Goodbye. I gotta go.
I just decided actually a few years ago when I came back from LA that I was gonna chase my life first and figure out how to make a living doing it. So that's where I wanted to be. This was gonna be my life. Now how do I make money as a comedian in those things? And I just figured it out.
If I wasn't doing corporates, there'd be no way that I could, like I have, for March I had 2 shows, like that's it. So if it wasn't for the fact that my April is really good and I had money in my savings account, there's no, you know, I wouldn't, that was in a Craigslist month where I was like, what am I doing?
But yeah, it's a highly unrealistic, like anything in the arts, right? You hope that your skill set is wide enough to kind of catch whatever money is coming. So it's the same in comedy, you know?